Nothing like anything. Do you remember this tagline? I guess most would not because we seem to have forgotten this brand. This Indian brand revolutionized the Indian mobile industry by introducing affordable, innovative phones. This is the story of Micromax, a story of rise and fall. At the height of its success, it was the second largest smartphone company in India and among 10 largest smartphone companies in the world. But now this brand hardly exists. Let's try to understand what led to the steep downfall of Micromax and what we can learn from the story. Stay tuned with us. How Micromax came into existence and became successful. Though Micromax was registered in 2000, but it was 2008 when they entered in the mobile selling business and started really very fast. Micromax co-founder Rahul Sharma realized that in rural India, where power supply was so inconsistent, there was a need for a phone that would have long battery life. They saw this big gap in the market and a golden opportunity. To test their hypothesis and business idea, they ordered 10,000 mobile phones with long battery life backup from the Chinese OEMs. Soon, they launched the X1 iPhone, Micromax's first telephone with a month-long battery backup. The phones went flying off the shelf and all 10,000 headsets were sold off in a mere 10 days. With just word-of-mouth marketing, this was the start they needed. They continued their strategy of identifying the gaps in the market and launching cost-effective phones. Within a couple of years, they were a leading brand. They had second largest market share in India. They were selling in Russia. They were among 10 largest smartphone vendors in the world. Akshay Kumar and Hugh Jackman were their brand ambassadors. Impressive, isn't it? Fall of Micromax. They say what goes up must come down. Same happened with Micromax, but at an accelerated pace. Let's see what the reasons were. External factors. 1. Launch of Jio and competition from Chinese brands. In the mobile industry, the transition from 3G to 4G was underestimated by the Indian brands. At the end of 2015, when Jio entered the market with 4G internet, it allowed people to have high-speed free internet and calls for months altogether. Suddenly, there was a surge in demand for 4G phones. Micromax was not prepared for this change at all. It had 40 different mobile models, but all in 2G and 3G technology. Overnight, Micromax ended up with a huge pile of inventory that no one wanted. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Chinese brands like Oppo, Vivo, and XIOAMI entered the Indian market with their 4G phones. The mistake by the company was not adapting to the changes in the environment immediately. So much so that by 2018, Chinese smartphones controlled 67% of Indian smartphones, and Micromax share fell from 9% to 3.4%. 2. Demonetization. While Micromax was still recovering from the impact of the popularity of Chinese phones, another challenge came across when, in 2016, the Prime Minister announced demonetization. It affected the company's business because the majority of Micromax's products were priced under Rs 10,000. As a result, they relied on cash payments. Back then, the Indian consumer, especially lower-income customers, did not actively use online payments, leading to adverse conditions for Micromax. Before we move further, there is an important announcement. If you're looking to improve your communication skills, then download AceFluency application. Link is given in the description. In this app, you will be able to communicate live with other fellow English language learners for free. And also we're providing 14 days of free live classes. What are you waiting for? Internal factors. 1. Flawed business model. They started their business with purchasing phones from Chinese manufacturers and getting them labeled as Micromax. In reality, they were kind of a middleman. Micromax depended on these Chinese OEMs like Oppo, Vivo, XIOAMI and Coolpad to produce its phones in China. When these OEMs started selling their phones directly in India, Micromax had no advantage over them, either of cost or better products. 2. Lack of long-term vision and R&D. Micromax always focused on quantity over quality, emphasizing on short-term gains. The phones offered by Micromax were positioned as average. Therefore, they could not suffice the competition. They were not looking for long-term sustainability by putting efforts in R&D and future needs of the customers. Learnings. 1. Adapt with time and always invest in R&D. If you do not offer better products or services, with time, someone else will. 2. Change your business model as you grow. Micromax's vendors became its competitor as Micromax was dependent on them for the mobile manufacturing. 3. Be aware about changes around you and its effects. Change from 3G to 4G became a disaster for Indian mobile companies, but the same became a golden opportunity for Chinese manufacturers. Subscribe to our channel to get more such content. Don't forget to download the AceFluency application. With good communication skills, you can excel in your career and life. Take care.